Okay, so what do you make of last night's Celtics and Nuggets game? If this was the NFL, we would be hair on fire how the Celtics are not going to win it all because in the same way that the Cowboys couldn't get past the Niners. That might be a poor analogy, but I don't know if we make anything of this. Do we?
Yeah, my takeaway is the Celtics can't beat Denver because, I mean, Jason Tatum wide open, 40 seconds left with a chance to take a lead. He's making that shot 8 times out of 10. So the Celtics were right there at the end against Denver. The takeaway, though, is right now Denver's the best team in either conference. I mean, Denver doesn't have the most wins in the West, but they are the best team in the West. They're a team that pretty much saw the calendar turn to mid-February, and was like, okay, let's play now. They've got 7 wins since the All-Star break. They have been rolling along. Nikola Jokic is putting up outstanding numbers. Michael Porter Jr. is putting up outstanding numbers. Their young players are starting to take off again. You watch Peyton Watson in that game last night. Second-year guy. Looks like he's a third or fourth-year guy able to play big minutes in the postseason. They are as complete a team as there is in the NBA right now.
So Jokic is your MVP?
I have said that I want to see how the regular season winds up in the West. Right now, the top 2 guys on my ballot are Nikola Jokic and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And I saw Shai play in LA a couple of nights ago. Not his best game, not a great game for the Thunder. But if Oklahoma City, which had 0 expectations to be this good coming into the season, if they wind up as the number 1 seed in the West, and Shai, who is putting up the kind of numbers that we haven't seen since Michael Jordan's heyday in the late 80s, early 90s, and haven't seen since Steph Curry's unanimous MVP year. If he's putting up those kind of numbers and they're the number 1 seed in the West, going to be really tough not to vote for him.
Let me throw one out for you here that's kind of crazy if you keep that standings up for one more second here out West. What if the Clippers wind up being the 1 seed? Nobody's talking about Kawhi, right?
Yeah, and believe me, I get that from Clippers people all the time. Why are we talking about him? Why is he not?
They've got 40 wins. They're 3 games behind the Timberwolves right now. I mean, there's definitely enough time in the next month for the Clippers to just keep winning more than not. I think they're just two losses out right now.
I think the only argument against him is perhaps his numbers are not going to be what Jokic, what Shai, what Luka are.
But that's not his style, right? I mean,
no,
but it's just everything else that might not show up on a stat sheet, or a defensive stop that doesn't show up on a stat sheet, He's the best 2-way player in that MVP race right now, although Shai is really good on both ends. And he has been part of the reason the Clippers have been able to seamlessly integrate James Harden. A lot of that credit goes to James Harden. A lot of that credit goes to Russell Westbrook, who's taken on a lesser role this year with Harden in the mix. But it's the end result is that his numbers are not going to be on the level of some of the other guys he's competing with. So if you're looking for the argument against him, it's probably those numbers right at the top. Well, Anthony Edwards had a final 90 seconds last night in a game, obviously, that for 4 quarters was outstanding as well, where he basically took it over, both ends of the floor. Mm-hmm. And so, Andrew Nembhard's trying to tie the game, and Edwards hit his head on the back of the rim. Is that what happened?
I mean, one of the great blocks that we've seen all season long. Right. One of the great blocks we've seen in years. I mean, Karl-Anthony Towns said over All-Star Weekend that Anthony Edwards is going to be the next face of the NBA. And the more you watch Anthony Edwards, the more you believe that, because he is the complete package, right? He can score, he can rebound, he can distribute. His shooting numbers are really good. And he's a 2-way player, as we saw at the end of the game last night. So, it's good that he's getting that type of exposure because he does have face of the NBA type potential.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.